Hello, welcome to episode 5 Dirty Kimbassa podcast. Here we are, 5 in, and we've not run out of content quite yet.
No.
We did promise to ourselves early on, didn't we? Said if we can do 10 and keep it rolling, then that might be a sign that we could keep it rolling longer.
My daughter, the teenage one, has provided me with some content. She said something to me the other day, and it's an expression. We were on a bit of a rant other week, weren't we? Do you remember when we were talking about Americanisms?
Would it trigger Tony again?
No, it didn't trigger me actually. I thought it was quite good, this one. And what she said is something that young people, the youth of today... The youth.
2 Fs.
Yeah. They say, chat shit, get banged. And she said that to me, chat shit, get banged. And I thought, that's quite catchy, that. And to be fair, people who chat shit should get banged. The problem is that the generation that say this, chat shit, get banged, aren't really capable of it, are they? You know, like they say chat shit, get banged, but you don't believe them. We ought to say things like that, and people would think, oh, hang on a minute, you know.
That grumpy old bastard might chin me one.
Quite a catchy one, that, you know. So I'm quite impressed with her there. Chat shit, get banged. So that were it. And we were also on, you found that horrific news article, didn't you, about the...
Fucking Australian weirdos.
Yeah, well, I found one that's not quite as weird. I'm going to read it out. Now, being old and galloping senility catching up to this, I've screenshotted this because I saw it on the internet.
Right, well, while you search for that, I'm just going to give a bit of feedback on stuff from somebody at work, actually. He says he liked that we sort of went, here's the episode and go. He says, whereas other podcasts he listen to, they prattle on for 5 bloody minutes, don't get going, and by the time they do, he's driven to where he wants to be, and he's not got time to listen.
Oh, well, that's interesting, that, because I felt like we just prattled on for an hour.
So he liked that.
Grand, that's good.
Have you found it?
I found it.
Right, go.
The Suffolk Gazette. I screenshotted it, and I thought what I should have done was screenshot the whole page so I remembered what newspaper it had come from. But as it happens, it's mentioned in articles, so we're all right. A Suffolk man with a bizarre sexual attraction to tractors...
Oh, here we go.
...has been banned from the Suffolk countryside and forced to sign the sex offenders register. Reports that from the Suffolk Gazette, Ralph Bishop, I'm going to name the dirty bastard.
Yes,
fuck him.
Dirty Kimbassa.
Ralph Bishop, 53, was found by police with his trousers around his ankles, quotation marks, interfering with a tractor parked in a field outside Saxmundham. He was arrested on suspicion of outraging public decency. Well, I'm hardly outraged.
I take it you want pinching parts off this tractor then.
I don't know. Let's read on. And admitted to having sex with around 450 tractors.
As you do.
Well, the fucking stud.
Yeah.
When officers searched his terraced home, they found a collection of more than 5,000 tractor-related images on his laptop. Tractor porn? I don't know.
Where's your mind going? I mean, is this images of him banging tractors, or is it just of the tractor?
The photos
posing provocatively. You know?
I don't know. In a bikini. The photos showed Bishop had a special desire for John Deere and Massey Ferguson tractors, and particularly light green ones.
David Brown, I could maybe get on board with, but
it takes all sorts. I mean,
God.
Do you know what? He's not hurt anybody, has he? Unless you happen to sit in his spunk stick when you get on your tractor.
Sieges.
I mean, it's not like he's going to break it. You know, I mean, I'm going to be honest, right? I mean, he's a fucking weirdo. But
you're not kidding.
It's hardly very public, is it? You know, and to be honest, had I have been judge, I'd have been inclined to let him off with a...
What was it? Public outrage or something?
Outraging public decency. You know, now, you're a farm lad, a bit.
A bit.
You're a bit of a farm lad.
Half there, yeah.
Would you have been that bothered?
Would I sexy time my tractor?
No, but would you have been that bothered, if you found out your tractor had been sexy timing somebody from down the road? Would you have been that upset?
You probably wouldn't care, really, would you? You probably wouldn't notice. If you did notice, you're probably going to think he's nicking parts off it.
Yeah, I'd have been more concerned with that than him interfering with it sexually.
By the time he's pulled his undercrackers up and left a Tipex on tyres, then I don't think you'd be right bothered. So no, I think that's definitely a frothy news story, there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a strange one, and maybe it's the reason we don't read the news so much. Go on then, have you got a bit for us?
I had another bit of feedback. I'm going to quote him. I've just shown you his pickup truck, right? That nice orange pickup truck that he has. John, he says, you're not going to make a bloody good podcast with knob jokes and shit like that.
Have we had a knob joke?
I don't know. I'm not even sure he listened.
I don't know. Maybe we need more knob jokes.
It tickled me. It really did.
Well, you said about knob jokes, so I'm gonna.
Oh, we got a knob joke.
We've not got a knob joke. But we've got a story, and I'll let you decide whether it's funny, but it's dark serious. And I was gonna use a pseudonym as an anonymous caller, but to be honest, I'm going to admit this were me. this were me. I mean, I felt a bit. Maybe you've had enough of my stories, but here we go. So, I was 17 years old.
Hang on, is this going to cause public outrage?
I don't know. 17 years old, and I was going on holiday with my first proper girlfriend. My first, proper girlfriend.
Are we going to name her?
We'll name her. Hello, Amanda. She was beautiful. She had a lovely smile, a twinkle in her eye, dark, tumbling curls like a gypsy princess, And appropriately enough for a gypsy princess, we were off on holiday. And we went down to Devon on the train and stayed at a caravan site. It was lovely. There was a bit of a pub down the road that we found served as being underage. Walked to the pub one night and then had a couple of light beers and then came back to caravan and things like that. And there was commercial caravan sites. All the caravan club guys going the big tourers with the twin axles and the big four-wheel drive.
We're talking like a Haven site or a Butlins or something like that.
No, it were more touring caravans,
right,
with a few statics you could hire out, and we had one of the
static. Right, okay.
But there was also there's like a purpose-built block for the touring caravan folks with toilets, showers, washing up facilities, laundrette, all like in the middle.
Yeah, you don't shit in your porta potty unless you have to, do you?
We both decided we'd nip in there and use the toilet. I had a pair of zip-up, khaki, Bermuda short type things.
Classy.
I was very much looking like our man in Havana. I think it was Dawlish Warren in Devon. We'll give them a shout out. And
big up Dawlish
anyway,
Warren.
so big up. Yeah, it's a lovely spot. But yeah, so Amanda went into the ladies and I went into the gents, and I wasn't wearing any underpants. I shook off my little todger.
Was the underpants thing now? I want details. Set the scene. Is this from a previous encounter at night? Or?
No, nothing like that.
Was this just a going commando thing?
This is a tale of young innocence. I was going commando.
Right.
I mean, it's not like I was performing any sports and likely to injure myself or anything like this. So I stood at the urinal and finished having a nice long wee. Weed away me pint and a half of whatever local concoction I'd drank.
Shandy.
I can't remember what it was. Something like, I think it were Adnams Broadside.
I was thinking, would it have been cider down that way?
No, I'm not a cider drinker. We've discussed cider before, haven't we?
I like proper cider. You like your proper cloudy brewed cider. I don't like that fizzy pop cider.
Because it comes after both ends.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that. I'm not. Cider was the drink of the alcoholics when I were a kid.
True.
But anyway, so I've weed away me pints, shook off, and zipped up. And therein lied the trouble. I tried to scream, but no sound could come out because there weren't enough air in my lungs. I were in agony.
So before something about Mary, you've done something about Mary, haven't you?
I caught my foreskin in the zip, and I'd zipped it right up, and you could see it were all blue and black, and like bubbles of flesh coming out between the teeth of the zip. And I mean, to this day, I've still got a tiny scar.
You've got a zip scar.
Tiny little zip scar on there. But I mean, it is tiny to say that the injury looked so severe at the time. And was so prepared. And I was in bits, and it bled.
I bet it did.
It bled a lot. It bled. Very soon, my khaki Bermuda shorts were scarlet.
Every bloke listening to this now has put his legs together and he's going, oh, fucking hell.
I tried to put my hand to it to stop the bleeding, and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't stop just bleeding. The trouser leg was soaked, it was dripping everywhere. I started to feel a bit woozy. I put my hand out, leaving a red bloody handprint on the immaculately newly white tiled surface, and staggered a little bit more and smeared it across the walls of this.
It started to look like a massacre.
And I thought, there's no hope for it. I'm going to have to go find Amanda. So I went out. She wasn't there. She was obviously still in the ladies. So I thought, all right, okay. So again, and I'm feeling quite faint at this time. I'll be honest. I think I was panicking a little bit. You know, the extent of the bleeding made the injury seem worse.
Had you got the zip back down at this point?
No,
you were still
I couldn't.
Stuck?
I tried and I tried, and I couldn't do it. And
fuck.
we're getting ready. So there's no for it. I'm going into the ladies. So covered in blood, leaving a dripping trail of blood behind me. I went into the ladies, which had also been immaculately white tiled. All the cubicle doors were shut. The ladies had a different layout that they didn't have.
Urinals.
Separate urinals,
yeah.
Separate sink and a row of bogs. They had like self-contained toilet bog shower sink. Toilet bog shower sink in separate cubicles. Yeah. And each one of these, 4 of them, was occupied.
So you're lucky ladies in one of these.
I dropped to the floor, prone position, to try and look under.
See if you recognise her shoes or something.
I was see if I could recognise her feet and her shoes. If I recollect, she was wearing flip-flops. Sadly, I was mistaken. She was wearing a pair of strappy brown sandals. But in my panic,
drunk
for some
and bleeding
reason,
state, yeah.
Well, I wasn't that drunk, but for some reason I got it into my head that she had flip-flops on, and I dragged myself along the floor, leaving a trail of blood smearing all over the floor tiles to the next cubicle where the different shoes, and eventually I saw some flip-flops, so I banged on the door. Help me! I was like, quick, come out, I need help. Anyway, I was getting up, the door opens, and this old woman, I say old, she was in her 50s, a matronly type, the type of woman that stands for no nonsense, opens the door. And luckily, the scream was cut short. She didn't scream for long. She composed herself quickly and realised I was in trouble. Turned out she was a retired nurse.
Good girl.
And she sorted me out with telling me to stop being such a big baby and things like this. And she soon had it out of there. She didn't fuck about. There you go, you're out. And, oh, jeez, but.
Does she not know trapping your foreskin in your zip actually hurts more than giving birth?
To be honest, I don't think it. I think it hurts more than anything. I'll be honest. I've been run over on my motorcycle, and it didn't hurt as much as that. An old lady up at Lindley ploughed over the top of me in a car, and it didn't hurt as much as that particular 10-minute episode. That's all it must have been, And there we go. So I'd like to apologise to that woman for giving her a bit of a shock. Amanda had actually already left the toilet cubicles and was wandering around looking through a shop window. So I got a bit of a, what the fuck's happened to you? When I got,
yeah.
Because by now it was all over my pristine pale blue shirt as well as the khaki Bermuda shorts, and all over the rest of me. And I was a bit of a, I looked like a butcher's block. And I'd left both bathrooms looking like a butcher's block. So I'd like to apologise to the staff at Dawlish Warren Caravan Site. No one had been murdered.
Could poor bugger clean that up day after.
It were me. So there you go. I don't think that's a dirty kimbasser. I think that's an unfortunate young man.
Unlucky, yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've never gone commando since.
Lesson learned, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used to work on a caravan site.
You look like a pikey.
Yeah. And some bastard left blood all over it. So, no. What we used to do, I worked at, they got some idiot walking around in a, what's he call it? A cartoon character costume.
Oh, yeah. Because they're in Tiger Club or whatever.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, they didn't have one of them. It were a bit more upmarket, this place.
Well, this were a haven, so it were considerably...
Rory the Tiger. I've been there. Fat people supping ale while the kids play. That's the one. Yeah.
So I used to go there from about 14 onwards. That was Tony slurping his coffee there.
It's good coffee.
It is.
Yeah. You make somebody a lovely wife.
So yeah, from 14ish, school holidays, I used to go to stay with my mate that lived at Seamer. And he'd got his all year round kind of job, 9 months a year, whatever it is, working on this holiday camp. So I'd join in there. So we got a job with this photo shop, as it was. And you remember they got a little photo booth and they put all pictures up that they've taken the night before and then get them overnight processed.
Did you do that, did you?
And people come in and buy them. Now, I was never a tall kid, So I got job as photographer, and I were all right at it. Except for one day that I was, my defence, not my fault. Gaffer passed me camera. Right, you're good to go. And we did whole front row at club.
Well, after any filming it.
No fucking filming.
Oh,
it wasn't
yeah.
until I got to like 40 on Winder thinking, that's a 36 film here, hang on.
It's all digital and pixels now, isn't it?
This were days of film. So yeah, anyway, I lost the entire front row there. But other than that, I were alright at it. And my mate were quite a bit taller than me. And he'd wear a costume, which were a horrible job because it were a warm place to be and you're sweating.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no what you can do about it. So anyway, a few nights in, he says, you'll get a fucking costume tonight. I've had enough of that. Right, okay.
Well, people notice that suddenly Tiger's a foot and a half shorter.
There must have been 6 or 7 inch between us. He was quite a bit taller than me, yeah. So I got this costume on. I'm trying to remember what costume it was. There was a Bart Simpson and then there was like a bear thing. I think I was in bear thing. And it didn't fit right well, I have to be sincere. It didn't fit right well. And
One size fits all, kind of.
Yeah, my mate were a bit shit with the camera, so it were destined to be a crap night. But you couldn't really see where you were going because your head fitted top at suit, but then eye holes were a good 6-7 inch away from your eyes. So actually, you were looking through 2 peepholes into distance. So you'd
You've
only
looked through peepholes before, Ben.
and you couldn't see anything within like 20 feet of you. Unless you put your hand to your mouth and sort of look down and pushed eyes to your eyes to look down and see what you're at. It were best if you just stood still, and we developed a method with, okay, we'll get one kid on one side, and you lean over and take a picture to the right, and then Q on the other side, lean over and take a picture to the left, and you could switch left, right, you could rattle them off. Loads of pictures, dead easy. But then they wanted them getting round with families at tables as well, so up I get again and I'm off walking. Anyway, unbeknown to me, this little kid runs up to me to give the bear a hug. I puts my knee straight into his face.
You couldn't even see it.
I didn't even know it had happened. I'd kneed this kid right in the nose, knocked him clean flat on his back, bust his nose. Poor little bugger. So my mate's trying to get his kid back to his parents with a bloody nose and apologising and trying to sort of explain the situation, not happy. So anyway, that was last night I ever spent in suit.
Oh, no.
Poor kid. Can you imagine trauma? It must have only been about 3 or 4.
Can you imagine?
Run up to this little bear. Poof.
Can you imagine today's
Oh, there'd have been a
today's
claim.
parents? You know, today's parents. If something like if you hurt little Tarquin, you know,
Yeah, there'd have been definite blame and claim today, wouldn't there?
I'm not being funny. If that had happened to me as a kid, my dad would have probably given me a thick ear for getting under somebody's feet.
Yeah, that's it. Where you left the apathy. Yeah.
There wasn't the right lot of sympathy growing up for us.
No. Upside to this job, you try and make sure you got pictures of all the girls you fancied in one at costume, because then they come in shop next day. Up there for thinking, you see. They're coming in, so you can have a chat with fit girls. So
Did it work for you, this ploy?
it did.
Did it? Nice one.
But they came in, they left, they bought the photos, left. So we figured, better way of doing it, where I didn't fit girls' ones under the counter. Waiting for them to come in, then go, where's our photos? Oh, let's just check through these extra ones here we didn't have room to put up, you know, and then you got chatting to them, you see, so.
All sounds a bit rapey, this, Ben. Just when you have to lure them in and bait them, you're doing something wrong.
Well, no, come on,
know,
give defence. It was just keeping them at that 2 minutes longer to get chatting.
I mean, God, I know out of the two of us, I'm the looker, but which in itself is
Are
scary.
you back to your Auntie Val telling you this?
Yeah, my mum says.
She's not biased at all.
Yeah, no, it's a funny one. Now, I've hurt myself, Ben. I've hurt myself. And you'll know yourself this. We've got to a stage in our life where we hurt ourselves and we don't even know how sometimes. Now, I've got no idea how I've hurt myself. I've gone over on my ankle somehow and managed to pull tendon and things. And it just got me thinking, I've got a lot of mates in Lancashire and they're bloody weird over there. But they've got a special word for this. And I think the only place in country that has a special word for spraining your ankle. So, you know when you go over on your ankle to the wrong side, and it bends the wrong way.
Your ankle.
You've twisted your ankle, you've sprained your ankle,
You've gone over on your
You've gone
ankle.
over on your ankle, you've rolled over on your ankle, whatever. Yeah, it all makes sense. What do they say in Lancashire? Any ideas?
Whatever they say, it'll have a funny sound to the vowels, won't it? That's goodness.
They've cruckled.
Cruckled. I like cruckled.
Oh, I've cruckled. Have you cruckled, lad? Aye, I have cruckled. Does anywhere else
Can you do it in a better Lancashire accent?
To be honest, unfortunately, my Yorkshire lungs reject any attempt.
Foreigners.
Yeah, that's it. You know. Do you know they've got Lancashire tea now?
Nonsense.
Yeah, it's fleet sweepings up off floor mixed with witch's piss.
Foreigners, that's what they are. I had a shock the other day, chatting about music and stuff with wife. She's never played a vinyl record.
Never?
Never.
Really?
Couldn't believe that. Now, you'd think that there were 20 years between us, only 4.5 years between us. And she's never played. She's oh, my granddad had one of them. My granddad?
I still play vinyl records.
Blimey. You know, it really did surprise me.
It's interesting because I bought some CDs. I've got a new car.
Has it got a vinyl player?
I wish it had. That'd be good. Pickup truck. I'm quite excited about it. It's a man thing, isn't it? It's not a new car. It's 12-year-old. But it's new to me. And there's always something exciting when you're a man about getting a new vehicle. Isn't there? It's nice. You start looking over it. If you've got an owner's handbook, even better. Yeah. I'll just see where they put the jack. I spent a nice 40 minutes looking through the manual. And
nice.
It's just nice to have a new car. Cleaned it out a bit because it looked like somebody had been keeping chickens in it.
And that half hour where you sit in driver's seat and find all switches and make sure everything everything.
Wonder what these buttons do. Heated seat, that's a nice treat. I've never had one of them before. But it's got a CD player and I've kind of moved on from CD because CDs are dated now. It's all
obsolete.
It's all, what do they call them now?
MP3.
MP3s, that's what I was looking for.
Bluetooth to your phone.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's been a little bit old. It doesn't have an aux input.
Yeah.
And it's a fitted console radio, so I'm gonna to put an aftermarket radio with an aux input. So I thought, do you know what? I need some CDs. So I got okay. I'll get on eBay. I'll get them cheap enough. Fleetwood Mac, bit of Bruce Springsteen, just something to listen to and things like that. So I've got to order myself some CDs. It just got me thinking that. But I do still listen to vinyl, and it was strange because recently I've shown my children how to put the vinyl record onto the turntable, lift up the needle and position the stylus into the groove,
on the edge.
On the edge, and showed them how to do it, and they didn't know that. And of course, something that never occurred to me that they'd not seen it before.
No. Did you show them how to skip a track?
Line
between.
I don't. Well, I don't skip tracks because I just sit and listen to it all.
I'm a bit shit with music.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have a music collection. Although what I did realise recently, even though I like several sort of genres of stuff, they're generally black men.
Right.
So I must have a thing for black men.
Maybe you have.
Yeah.
Delete your browser history.
But yeah, from rap to James Brown.
Do you like rap?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
The genre with the silent C. I like James Brown. I like James Brown. I like Otis Redding.
Aloe Black.
Is he black? He sounds it.
Aloe Black. Eagle Eye Cherry. I like him. It's a strange one.
I'm using Spotify a lot, and I like it.
Yeah, I didn't have a Spotify. I've said it before on podcast. I didn't have a Spotify account till about 4 months before we started doing this podcast. Because being a tight Yorkshireman, I didn't think it were free.
Do you know what's also it? Really ace, and really it's good, and it's shit at the same time.
Have you listened to that podcast?
No. But what I've found myself doing is I found that it's not happened so much during lockdown, but I've kind of we had this like little routine, me and little one, school mornings, now and again on a school morning, once or twice a week, call off at supermarket in Elland and go to the supermarket cafe and have a little bit of breakfast there and just chill out. I'd have a posh coffee and little.
Posh as mine? Is it good as mine?
This kind of thing, on a par, and little one would maybe have some slices of toast or something. It was just nice to just sit and spend a bit of time across the table, eat cafe, different surrounding, Nice chilled out morning, then walk on to school. What I found is that I'm now at an age where the music they play in supermarkets is good. Supermarket music is now my easy listening playlist. And we had this conversation with my little one, and do you remember? This isn't a good record. It was The Weight by the band.
I don't know that one.
It's good. It's old music, but it's all right. I won't sing it. I don't want to put our listeners off, you know, because you were saying we've got a steady stream of increasing listeners, and I don't want it to suddenly drop. So I won't sing. But I was singing along to it, and Emily says to me, "Dad, who's this?" I says, well, this song is called The Weight, and the band are called The Band. What? The Band? She says. Yeah. I says, well, I think they should have come up with a better name.
I think she's
right. I think that's probably right. But yeah, quite perceptive sometimes, kids, aren't they? But yeah, supermarket music is now good. So that's where we are in life, you know. But it's good that it's good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's shit that I'm now finding it good, and I'm now wrong side of 40. But it's also good that I'm starting to appreciate things.
It's free music.
It is.
We're back to being tight Yorkshireman here. Did you record it on your phone?
I did record it, but you know, now and again there's an app. I've got it on my phone. Holly, my eldest, put it on my phone for me. And what I can do is, if I hear some music that I like, I can tap this button, and the phone listens to it.
It tells you what it
and
was.
Analyse it and says, "Oh, this is."
The Weight by the band.
Well, I knew that. But yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, and it's so if I hear something new that I don't know what it is.
Clever stuff, that.
Yeah.
Electricity.
Yeah, it is good.
So I'm going to ask you, I have 2 questions for you. Kinder eggs, remember them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shit.
I remember them as a kid. I had a little blue car with a little flywheel in.
Yeah.
You revved it up and off it went. Yeah, that's one I remember.
Aren't they illegal in America in case kids eat them? Kids eat the plastic.
Oh, it's an American way, isn't it?
Stupid.
Sulphur everything. So yeah, Kinder egg, right? You can picture them. It's a duck egg size, would you say? They're quite a big egg, bit bigger than a good hen's egg.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wouldn't like to lay one myself.
No.
Well, it'd melt, wouldn't it?
What's inside it?
A little yellow plastic capsule.
Why is it yellow?
So you see it?
Egg yolk.
Because it's white on the inside and yellow within the thing.
Egg yolk.
Is that why it's like that?
It's a yolk.
It's not to stop Americans eating it then.
Maybe, yeah. All these years, 40 years, I've been having Kinder eggs.
And never twigged.
Never twigged.
Well, to be honest, it's never twigged.
a
I've never
little egg
thought
yolk.
about it in that way.
But when you think about it,
It makes sense.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Weird one.
Hey, did you know that you hear about aircraft and they have a black box?
It's not black.
It's orange.
Yeah.
So they can find it in wreckage.
I have a question for you.
Go on then.
If it's so indestructible, why not make plane out of the same stuff?
Probably weight, mate.
You'd never be looking for black box, would you? Be just looking for black plane.
I tell you what I found interesting, and I think Pan American were the first to do it. Pan American, they don't exist anymore, do they? Pan Am flights. You don't get them anymore.
No.
I don't think the airlines still go. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a plane spotter or anything like that. I've got a life. I'm just alienated all half of our listeners, aren't I?
The 1% that's left.
Yeah. So but I don't know if you remember. I'm going back to when we were children, sort of. That's that kind of era. So late 70s, 80s, and you used to see planes, and they'd be shiny, polished.
Oh yeah.
Right. Do you know why that is?
No.
Right. And they'd maybe only paint half at plane and rest were polished, because when you got something the size of a jumbo jet, a couple of coats of paint adds up to weight.
4 ton. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds up to a lot of weight, and it's all about saving weight. And someone said, well, hang on a minute, we can save weight here by only painting half of it. Just so we can, and we'll paint a bit so that we can just put our livery on it and we'll just polish the rest. Because they're aluminium, aren't they?
Like a DeLorean.
Aluminium alloy kind of thing to be light and stuff. So yeah, that's why they used to do that. And I like to know things like that. I'm interested in how the world works and stuff.
Right, here's a question. How does your kitchen work, right? Picture your cutlery drawer.
I don't have a cutlery drawer.
What? Do you have one of these things that you put your knives and your forks and your things in, like?
Yeah, but it's not big enough.
Right.
I have an old dresser that I got off an old mate. It belonged to his mother. And it's my kitchen's a work in progress. It's a bit of a building site. You've been in it.
I've been in
it.
I'm
still on with it. So we
recorded first 2 podcasts in it. Because it's a building site.
I hadn't finished it yet. I've been doing it 8 years, but
crack on.
I'll get on with it one day. But yeah, so everything gets chucked in this drawer at dresser. I've got one of those like sorty things
Yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't hold everything, so it all spills out. So it's a case of you playing sharp thing roulette, putting your hand into my cutlery door.
Right, question then. Your sorty thing.
Yeah.
Just to prove you're part of civilised world here. What order is your knives and forks and spoons left to right?
In my case,
Yeah.
I'm going to be awkward. Front to back.
Front to back?
Front to back, because, as I say, it's not built for...
You're a fucking savage. You're a fucking savage. Get out.
There's no woman's touch in my life, remember? You know, I mean, there's me and two little girls. I don't...
Right, hang on. Let me re-propose this question for you.
From front to back.
If you had a drawer,
Right,
and if it had a cutlery thing in,
I'll describe the order I try to keep it before everything spills out. So, right at the very front, long stuff. So, like your knife
Right.
sharpener.
So if that were in your drawer normally, that'd be on right hand
bread
side.
knife. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bread knife.
Okay.
That kind of shit. Fruit knife.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Yeah.
Alright. Forks.
You fucking savage.
Forks. That's all it next one. Forks, knives, spoons, and then there's a little side one, and that's got all teaspoons
Right.
and what looks like a clear blue butt plug, but is actually an orange juicer.
Okay.
I bought it from local charity shop, thinking it were a butt plug. It's never been used. Not as an orange juicer anyway.
One careful order. So what you've done here, to join the civilised world, you need to swap your knives and your forks around.
Why? What should it? Knife, fork, spoon?
Yeah, normally, I mean, obviously, something that's not a Luddite would have it
There is a
correct way in
reason.
draw.
There is a reason I put forks in first.
Because you're a savage. There's
And it's
a correct
because
way.
in my little drawer thing, the middle one is slightly longer. It's wooden is my thing, and the middle one's made slightly longer, and the knives I have are slightly longer than the forks I have. So by maybe like, I don't know, 2/8 of an inch. So the knives go in the slightly longer one, and so there is actually the science there. It's science. It's not random me being weird.
Everyone in the civilised world, right, has, first of all, tray at 90 degrees to what yours is. Teaspoons at front, spoons on left, forks in middle, knives at third one, and then long stuff in long one. Right?
Look,
If you want to join civilised world, you need to sort this out.
it's all very well saying I'm a savage, right? I could sit at the Savoy and know which cutlery to use with which course. I know the etiquette, you know. I mean, just because I don't stand on ceremony at home don't mean you can't take me anywhere nice. If anybody wants to ever, and if they let us in.
I can't take my kids anywhere nice at the minute. I think they've forgotten what cutlery is. They just sit there scoffing it in with their fingers.
I know.
I'm saying to them, pick it up. Pick your bloody cutlery up. You stop using your fingers. We're not going to any restaurant. Remember Ross restaurant? Remember restaurants? Do you remember them? A place that we used to be able to go.
Tell you what, matey, when all this bloody weirdness is over, I'll take you and kids and missus, and we'll all go over. We'll all go to Flyer and have a bit of tea.
Is that?
Flying Horse, my mate's place.
We have a message from him, haven't we? We'll come to that.
Oh, we've got a message from one at Lads, haven't we? From one at Lads at Flyer, yeah.
But restaurants, right? It's got to be in my bonnet with restaurants. I'm glad we've come round to that. A nice segue, almost professional.
Oh, what?
Segue.
What's that?
I don't know. That. Shit restaurants. Right. Now, a standard's been set in our house because our lass is an excellent cook.
I know she is, yeah.
So, when I go to a restaurant, we want at least as good as that.
Yeah, you want excellent food.
Yeah. Now, I can get on board with shit restaurants that are cheap shit. McDonald's, it's not barely a restaurant, is it? But it's cheap, it's shit, and that's fine, you know?
All right, yeah.
You pay a couple of quid for a burger, you expect a couple of quid's worth of shit.
I'm going to let you talk, but then I'm going to defend McDonald's for you, right? And I'm going to big up McDonald's and the people that work there, because I'll tell you what, I couldn't bloody do it.
Oh no, I'd kill somebody.
But no, go on.
But,
go on.
you know, quid burger, expect a quid, yeah, and that's alright, that's fine. Shit restaurants, cheap money, I'm fine with that. Honest, cheap shit, isn't it? But pricey shit, that really fucks me off.
Yeah.
These
I
places
agree.
call themselves restaurants, and I'm going to name two of them because I've been to them, and they were both fucking shocking. Nando's. People say cheeky Nando's.
I've never had one.
There's a shit Nando's and there's no Nando's. That's it.
I've never had a Nando's.
TGI Fridays, basically same shop, same shit. I tell you what they look like. Like somebody's gone to Farm Foods and gone to shit freezer and just gone, yeah, there's all that shit there in shit bags. We're going to buy that shit, put it on a menu, give a teenager a fucking frying pan and a tin opener.
Quite dear for your working man, isn't it,
Yeah,
TGI?
it is when you consider it's Farm Foods type shite. Right?
But do you know what I don't like at TGI's? When it's somebody's birthday and all staff come round to sing.
It's
Fuck
cringy,
off.
innit?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, cringy.
Yeah.
So
It's not even my birthday. It's my mate winding you up.
yeah, just try and get a free beer.
Yeah.
So we went at one. It were in Halifax at that new Plaza thing, and I forget which one it was. It were either Nando's or TGI, whichever one's there. I can't distinguish between. They're both equally shit.
The TGI's usually have a fairly newish, shiny Harley Davidson parked up, right?
What a waste
drained
of
of oil on a metal stand welded so kids can't knock it over for folk to sit on and have their picture taken.
What a waste
I'll
of
tell
a
you
bike,
what, I got into a fight a couple of years ago outside the George Hotel in Halifax.
Somebody sit on your bike.
You got a couple of lads sat on my bike.
Wankers.
Lads old enough to know better. I fucking filled them in and their mates.
Wankers.
Yeah, arseholes. You don't sit on a man's bike. You don't mess with a man's woman. Those are the rules, aren't they?
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in TGI Nando's shittery, whichever it was. First time ever. And I'm looking at this Farm Foods freezer menu, basically. And I thought, right, okay, well, we'll order some of this. And my lad, he were only about 5 at the time, my eldest. So he could read, but not that well. So he's ordered from pictures. And there's this juicy-looking dish.
Waitress.
Waitress.
Juicy-looking waitress.
Dish, yeah.
Come here, wench.
Serving wench.
That's why you don't get on in restaurants then.
And that's why they threw me out.
Yeah.
So my lad's pointed, he says, I fancy that, Daddy. Because I don't often order from kids' menus, because kid menus are generally shite, aren't they? Fish fingers and chips, you know. So he ordered this dish that he's seen that looked lovely. And this fucking excuse of a dish came. This pathetic looking dish. And I says, hang on a minute, look. Fetch us a menu, will you? Yeah, of course I will, you know. So she fetches a menu of her. And I opened this picture that my lad had pointed at, and I held plate up. And I went, you see what that looks like on there? I said, and you see what you've served him? I said, that just don't look anything like. I says, he can't read that well, so he's ordered front picture, and you've sent this excuse of a dish. Can you sort that out for us? And she went, what do you mean? And I said, well, take menu to chef, and take him this dish, and say to him, make that look like that for us. You know, I mean, there's a spotty teenager in the kitchen with a tin opener and a deep fat fryer, so, you know what I mean?
And I always find it hard. I mean, I'm not the kind of man that's ever going to give a waitress an hard time.
No, and I was polite to her.
Yeah, well, something that makes me cross is, and I've seen it, and it fills me with a bloodthirst. You know, when you see a grown-ass man shouting at a kid in a bloody restaurant. Taking out his frustrations with the world on some poor bugger on minimum wage. No.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something. There's no cool about it, is there?
No.
But yeah, cool. I know you'll have been polite, mate. I know what you like.
What I was saying, I'm trying to get across is, this dish ain't 12 quid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, just take chef this menu and dish and just say to him, make that one look like that and fetch it back. And to be fair, they did have a go. I mean, they probably shat in it and pissed in it as well, just to get me back up, you know. But so shit restaurants for good restaurant money is basically what it is.
To be honest, though, let's go back to McDonald's. Right?
Go on, McDonald's.
I think, right.
I'm all right with McDonald's. It's cheap shit, and that's fine.
And to be honest, do you know what? My parents like McDonald's. Older people, and they like it, and they go. And do you know what?
They must be doing something right because there's thousands of them in there.
Also, I've never had a bad experience in terms of service. It's always been polite. In fact, to be honest, our local ones, they've always been really friendly. And not falsely friendly either. Genuinely nicely friendly. They've been the staff in the McDonald's. I've always had it great.
Pretty efficient. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They have a policy where they give older folk jobs.
Yeah.
So like my mate Michael Deasy, shout out Mike, nice bloke, semi-retired but don't want to give up just yet.
Yeah.
Give him a job over at the one over in Rochdale. He don't like to do customer facing stuff, but he'll unload wagons at back and just potter about and do a bit around car park for him and things like that. And I think that's great that they do that.
It brings a lot to a workplace having
an older chap there, with a bit of world experience, amongst all kids and stuff. And he enjoys working there. And like I say, the other thing is, like, you open your Benjamino's Italiano place, right?
Hang on, while I write this down.
You can. I'm giving you business ideas. Yeah. I should charge for this, right? But you are free to. We haven't got any potatoes we usually use for chips. So we'll nip down to greengrocers. We'll have them ones today. All right, no, and nobody's bothered, right? Yeah, because you're independent, you're a one-off, you can make it however you want.
Yeah.
McDonald's have that franchise and everything. Now I know they order everything in, but they can't just go to a different supplier.
Yeah.
Everything always has to be to that same standard.
We can't have curly fries today because we've run out of fries, can we? You know?
Yeah, everything's got to be to that same standard, and that in itself to a business puts a different challenge there, doesn't it? Because yes, all right, they can't run out.
Yeah.
They can't not have something in. They've got to have that. And I think from a business point of view, I think it's quite a labour intensive business is a McDonald's. You know, I think there's quite a lot going on. I mean, yeah, we rock up at the hatch and we get a burger through it because we can't go in now at the moment, right? And that burger's always the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always made to a standard, and it's never what you not expect, is it?
No.
You know, and I think that in itself is good.
It's
and
a talent.
I think the staff there are all pretty good. And I'm never going to be somebody that bloody shouts at them. If a mistake's made, they quickly sort it without any fuss or hassle.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. It's cheap, but
it's not pretending to be better than it is, though, is it?
Well, no, that's it. You know, but I mean, I'm certainly not going to slag them off. You know, I think they're pretty good at what they do.
And I'm not slagging them, really.
No,
but
no,
there's not many places you can walk up and go 99p burger.
Yeah, but what I am going to slag off is chefs in inverted commas.
These are the ones I'm talking about.
I'm a chef. You've watched Gordon Ramsay on telly, and in some ways, it's TV chefs have kind of spoiled things. In some ways, they've made it good because they've set a standard, and being a chef is cool. Now, go back to when we were at school, right? Nobody wanted to be a chef.
True. I wanted to have a pet shop.
To be honest, if you were a chef, meant you failed your fucking GCSEs at one time, didn't it?
Yeah, home economics were...
You know, that were it.
Different league, wasn't
it meant you weren't good at bloody physics and maths, didn't it, if you were going to be a chef. But now it's changed. There's something a bit cool about being a chef. You know, restaurants are cool and things like this. And, you know, I actually like Gordon Ramsay. You know, he's... I mean, don't get me wrong, if you threw a fucking cutlery drawer at me, I'd boot him.
Yeah,
but
I'm amazed he hasn't been chinned.
At the same time, I quite like the fella. And I appreciate what they do. Round corner from you, Matthew... 1885,
yeah.
Talented chef.
Yeah.
Good at what he does. But you also get these chefs who they're not chefs. They heat food.
Yeah.
But they say they're a chef. You see them outside some chain pub in a pair of stained whites, looking like they've just got out of bed and not had a shower, and I can't do with it. But you also get like these chefy gimmicks, right? And a presentation that doesn't actually improve the food. It's all about, like, look. So, there were a bit of a fad. Square plates.
Yeah.
Save me my food on a square plate. It'll annoy me. It will. It's a gimmick. It's shit. It's designed to look trendy, look contemporary.
No.
That's the word, isn't it? Contemporary. Right? But let's not stop. Let's not just give Tony a square fucking plate. Let's put it on a roof tile. There you go, Tony. There's your sizzling steak. On a bit of roof.
Ironically, the person you've just mentioned, Matthew,
yeah,
whilst his food is excellent, he started doing that.
I say,
and sometimes when I've ordered, I've just said,
go get me a plate.
Make sure it comes on a plate.
Yeah.
What I also like doing at this, I'm going to give him a plug.
They are a good business, and he's a nice lad.
1885, the pub.
Yeah.
1885, the restaurant. I forget where he's rebranded it as now. In Stainland. Cracking pair of chefs, Nathan and Matthew. And pandemic-wise, what a load of shit. They've been bummed, haven't they?
Yeah, of course they have.
They're a pair of cracking chefs, so when we're allowed to eat again...
We'll go there.
Get there. But I have several times, I've said to him, just give it me on a bloody plate.
Yeah.
But what I do like to do when I'm there...
They must think, they must think, oh, these fucker.
Wanker next door. Beautifully me, it's next door. I can just walk round.
It is very good, though.
It's convenient. It is. Yeah. What I like to do is just tell him to surprise me. Chefs, amuse yourself. Don't piss on my food. Amuse yourself with whatever, a main or dessert.
I call this dish spunk à la spunk. Creme de la Benjamin.
So I quite like doing that, and I've done that in several restaurants, like Thai restaurants sometimes.
Do what you want.
Yeah. Just bring us,
what you think's good.
you know, £20 a head. Bring us a load, you know, and let chef go for it.
Yeah.
And it can work out really quite well. That.
No, it is a good place. But yeah, so you get your chips. My chips have come in an old enamel cup.
Yes, little metal buckets next door.
My stew's been served in an army mess tin. Fucking hell, I didn't think I were on shooting ranges, you know. Yeah, it's what they do at the work. But I don't like gimmicks, you know. I'd rather have a good hearty meal
on a plate,
served properly,
yeah.
that I can enjoy without having to fuck around with a miniature frying basket full of prawns or you've brought me my mashed potato in an old fire bucket. You know, fantastic.
There's a reason plates have lasted so long, isn't there? Because it works.
Plates work. Plates work for me.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Nice bit of mason's ironstone. Clang. There you go. So
and a plank of wood. Planks.
Yeah. I don't want it on a bit of scaffolding board. Here you go, Tony. I didn't have any plates, so I've cut up this scaffolding board. There you go. Here you go, Tony. I've served your soup in a cut-off section of an old tractor tyre. That fella in the newspaper would have liked that, wouldn't he? He'd have probably tried to bum it.
Maybe that's what they were trying to get parts for. When I message in, somebody's just listened to episode 1.
Oh, they're behind. They've got some catching up to do.
Playing catch up.
We've talked loads of shite since then.
And he's talking about when I mentioned my theatre 15-year-old boy.
Vile little pervert.
15-year-old boy's dreams. If you want to know what that is, go back to episode 1. So he's asked to remain anonymous. I'll just read it out. Evening, just done episode 1. All good. I can concur the fashion show thing. As a lad, teens to early 20s, I was an AV stroke sound stroke lighting technician and worked at fashion shows all over the country, including the Civic, Victoria Theatre, and places like Selfridges Hotel in the centre of London.
Sounds like he's a local lad, though, if you know it's Civic.
He is. This was the early 80s. The Halifax Courier had involvement in the Civic Theatre show. That's what we thought when I told him.
Yeah.
Diane Crabtree, yes, of the Big Daddy Crabtree family, was the paper's fashion correspondent. As a young man, I was fascinated in inverted commas, you know, like a wanker does, the model's total disregard for modesty backstage, but kept my head down and worked as diligently as I could. Lucky
what
man.
he needs is a pair of those wraparound sunglasses.
Oh, yeah, with mirror, what's it?
You know, just so they don't know where your eyes are looking.
Yeah.
My dad's had a pair of them for years, so he can drive along and look at joggers without my mum thumping him.
Yeah.
I think it must be an age thing, because I've started looking at joggers.
There's some good shape joggers.
There are.
That's why they're jogging to be a good shape.
Yeah.
Crack on, keep it up.
Yeah, we like joggers. Shout out to joggers.
Big shout out to joggers.
Big shout out to joggers.
On the final night, I had to work elsewhere. I was totally gutted to hear that Chris, the lad who stood in for me that night, was invited to the after-show party.
Someone stood in for him.
In for him. He was a rare commodity in a party full of pissed-up models, young, straight, and very much available. I was gutted to the extreme. To also hear that he got shagged senseless by the very model I had a soft spot for.
Oh.
When I say soft, I do, of course, mean very hard.
I don't think there was any need for that.
No.
This is enough to break a young man's heart.
That's, frustrating, that, isn't it? Add this episode in a future episode if you like, but please keep it anonymous. Alright, Dave, I will. So, that confirms they didn't give a shit backstage. Yeah, I remember that.
Or maybe they just didn't see you as a threat.
They didn't see me at all because I was...
Because you were up in you were playing Batman.
I was.
Maybe that's it, yeah. We need to give him email address, Ben.
We do need to do
now that we're on Spotify.
I
think it sounds right. Cool. Like, I tell kids, tell all your mates your dad's on Spotify. No.
Yeah, because Spotify would be down with it with kids, wouldn't it?
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? You would have thought so.
Is it not?
Well, it is, but apparently your dad being on Spotify ain't something you mention.
You've broken Spotify, haven't you? That's what it is. You've broken Spotify for your kids.
I've ruined Spotify for them by the fact that I'm now on it.
Don't tell them we're on Instagram. Fucking hell.
Oh, are we on Instagram?
We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
I never got on with Twitter.
That's our social
I'm not
media.
Donald Trump enough for Twitter. I do have a Twitter. I can't remember my password, but I've never tweeted. That's what you call it, isn't it? Tweeted.
I thought it was twatting.
Oh, well, I just don't gel with it. I'm on Facebook. I get banned from Facebook a lot. It started banning me for using bad words.
Oh.
Yeah, I called somebody a mong.
A mong?
And yeah, I got a warning. And do you know what? It's getting overly sensitive because, like, my mate Ash, he's a nice lad. I'll give him a mention. Mash Ash Smash. He's in my motorcycle club. Is Ash? He's a good lad. An old man in a very, very young man's body. Right, and he's a boring fucker. And he's also a massive fanny. And I tell him he's a massive fanny, and I get a warning. Yeah, your post may contain words that we consider to be bullying or harassment. Well, that's the point. I don't know.
They've got a bit of it.
I think they have. I think they need to stop trying to police us and just let us get on with it.
So, we are on social media. If you put any of them in and /Dirty Kimbassa, there we are. Because conveniently, nobody else in the world has picked such a ridiculous name, so we've got that.
To be honest, people still don't get it, do they?
No.
I'm not sure.
I'm not going to tell them anymore.
So, dirtykimbassa@gmail.com.
Correct.
That's
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anchor.fm/Dirty Kimbassa. You could, actually, on that, you could record a voice message on there, and if you told a good tale on there, we could actually let you be on our podcast rather than emailing it in.
Yeah, if there are any commercial enterprises out there that want us to be the voice of their products, you know,
Nando's or
Nando's, you know, McDonald's.
I'm alright with McDonald's.
I'm alright with
Nando's and
you've had some praise today.
I can kiss my ass.
Don't think they'd want to. not after the slating you just given them. I've never had a Nando's now. I'm curious.
I won't bother.
I'm curious. What even is piri piri?
It's chili sauce, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know. Is it Portuguese?
I don't know. I don't cook. Did I mention I've got my wife's an excellent cook? Yeah. Well, I haven't cooked for 15 years.
I have a friend on Facebook in Brazil. I shall ask her.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it a Brazilian thing?
I don't know. How many is a Brazilian?
Because she's going to say, what the fuck do I know?
I don't know.
How do I know? It's Spanish, you knobhead.
No, they're Portuguese though, aren't they, Brazilians?
They are, yeah. That's what I'm saying. How would I know? It's
displaced Portuguese,
yeah.
I believe. So
you've just reminded me. I'll tell this now because it's quick before we finish off. I have a Brazilian friend and she's a linguist. So she's learned about 6 languages, which is how we met. Talking English and practising. She used me, basically. But she went to a Japanese class. She'd take a total tangent because she'd done all sort of European languages, you know. Japanese teacher says to him in class, if you speak 2 languages, you're bilingual. If you speak more than 2 languages, you're multilingual. If you only speak 1 language, you're English. And we are shit with languages, aren't we? We are.
Je suis désolé.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably in a minority, really.
I think, to be
do
honest,
speak a second language.
I actually find languages really interesting, and I think more so the more I leave it. Now, I'm a bit of a historian. I think I've mentioned that before. History is really my thing. But our language English is wonderfully expressive. Now, there's a lot of French influence from the Norman conquest, but there's also, when we go back to our Anglo-Saxon heritage, there's a lot in common with English.
If this gets educational informative, I'm going to edit it out.
All right, fair enough. But Old Dutch and things like this, and I love listening to the Dutch. I think that's a great language. I can't speak it,
no,
but I can sometimes communicate.
You've got to be able to spit if you speak Dutch. You're like,
I once asked for directions in Holland. I was driving a wagon.
In English or Dutch?
And I asked in English because the guy spoke English, but with his Dutch. And the way he described it was just fun. So, head on ahead, and there is a beautiful long curve, you know, and you go down the curve, and he was just enthusiastic with his directions, and it was great. And I like listening to other people. It's
animated.
It was good. But let's wrap up.
Let's wrap up. So yeah, there we go. Social media, 3 of them. Email dirtykimbassa@gmail.com. That is episode 5 done and dusted. thanks for listening. If you did, share it. Please share it because.
Oh, don't.
No, don't. If you don't like somebody, give them a link to a podcast. You waste an hour of their life while they listen. An hour they'll never get back.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're that bad. We just talk rubbish, don't we?
Talk rubbish.
I'm going to put heating on in this shed because I'm freezing my testicles off. my scrotum is retreating inside my body, and my John Thomas is like a little walnut whip.
So, thanks for listening. And that's noise of heating going on.
That's heating going on.
That's cracking as we've finished that.
That's
Well done, idiot. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.